Well, Russ, the squad rebuilding seems to be going pretty well so far. You've already got a few nailed down.
Yeah, I think towards after January time, we were starting to have a recruitment process of who we were interested in anyway. It wasn't as much as the season finished and we'll snap a few up. These were lined up a couple of months before, and hopefully we could try and get them over the line. There's a couple of players that have come to our attention that we jumped on as soon as they were available. But apart from that, I'm relatively pleased.
Looking at the ones you have brought in, and Tom Owen Evans, obviously you knew a lot about from his time at Hereford.
Yeah, excellent addition to the squad. Met with Tom at the end of the season, and he was really excited about what we're trying to do here at the football club. We're a club hopefully going to be competing at the right end of the table, and we're two parties really excited going forward.
And the fact he got 14 or 15 goals from midfield, obviously he was always going to be marketable, wasn't he, really?
Oh, for sure. As soon as he become available, we had the conversation. He was really excited, so was I. Moving forward now, he's in the building, and it's having that process of building the team around our good players, really. Trying to keep the players that really helped us last year to have a successful season and building on that.
Yousuf Cisse also know a little bit about from his time at Old Church. Obviously he's been around since then, but I mean he's clearly a decent player as well.
Yeah, he's something different for us really. He's got pace, and he gives us a different style as well. He's rangy, he's 6'3", he's quick, and he knows the level very well. He's played in the league in the last 2 or 3 years. Hasn't quite worked out for him at various clubs, but he had a really good strong end of the season after January, and definitely caught our eye against us here. But again, he wants the full-time status, and it's something that we can provide.
Yeah, that must be a real draw when you're going for players who've been in the Football League. They can remain full-time. Yeah,
it's down to the player as well, because we don't pay the money, I'll tell you that now. So it's their drive of wanting to progress their career, and if we can be that stepping stone man in the middle, if you know what I mean, then we'll jump at that chance. So it's the model more than anything that's ticking a few boxes at the moment.
Mentioning Old Church and Yousuf Cisse, obviously Zach Brown has come from that direction as well.
Yeah, really delighted to get Zach over the line. Probably the one I'm really most excited about, to be honest. Caught the eye from a lot of clubs after January. We were actually watching another player for Old Church, and he caught our eye. So seen him 3 or 4 times. Loads of good feedback. Young, come out the West Brom setup and wants to jump back up the leagues as soon as possible. Our Church have given him that 44 games last year, and we want to be the next team on the ladder.
Nathan Lowe is the other one we know about so far. Tell us a bit about him.
Good ball player, technician. Something that I think we haven't had in the last couple of years. We've gone for vast experience in the middle of the park, and I think now where we want to go, we want to start linking things up in there as well alongside good players, and Nathan Lowe ticks that box. Good experience last year at South Shields and Darlington, and again a really good age, and a player who wants to prove himself to many people.
You've obviously got a few midfielders in so far. Are you looking to where else are we doing? Centre of defence, perhaps? Are you looking there?
Yeah, listen, we've got irons in the fire. I think the players that have come through the door have, we know they're all attacking players, all midfield players. It's just the way it's felt, really. But yeah, we do need centre halves, otherwise, we'll be playing with one at the back at the moment. But no, there's irons in the fire, and the people we're talking to. So these things take time. So no concerns there for me.
Clearly, you had quite a few sort of nailed down anyway from last season. How many more are you looking to add, do you think?
It depends in the budget, really. Like I said, I could sign 30 players if it's in the budget, but realistically you want to be looking at an 18 to 20 man squad of competitiveness. Obviously you've got a few young lads in there who should be knocking on the door now, but I want to be competitive. I think you could see towards the end of the season we had a real small squad for no fault of our own, with injuries and loans going back, but to be competitive all season round like your Brackeys and your Gateshead, you've got to be strong in all areas, and players that come out you want to be replacing with the same kind of depth, really. So I think that's what we're looking to do this season.
On reflection, looking back at last season, would it be fair to say now that perhaps you ran out of steam a bit towards the end of the season?
Yeah, I think you can say that. Yeah, it's overall it was a successful season, but disappointed how we fell off the last 2 months. Really, it was a tough situation we were in. We were comfortably in the playoffs from probably February time, and then you start rotating and resting players, and sometimes, you know, when you need that momentum of winning games every week, like York and your Bostons, you find that momentum going into the playoffs, and we didn't quite have that.
But what about those players to whom you've offered deals? Obviously, we know Tom Palmer has agreed a new deal. Where are we with the others?
I think, you know, this is holiday season now for the players. Listen, I've been there before. They're all got agents now, and they're all probably putting all the deals on the table and looking at what's best. And it will be down to them at the end of the day. We've give players who we want to keep at the club our best offer. We know what we can do from a football club's perspective. We know what we can offer. But then it's down to the players and their agents. But we have got replacements if not, and it's something that if they don't want to sign, then we'll move quickly on. If they do, then great, we'll be part of us.
Most managers I speak to at this kind of level say that, you know, ultimately they give the players a deadline because obviously they'll be left with gaps in the squad at the start of the season. Given that you've got quite a few players already on the books, can you afford to wait a little bit longer for those you want to keep?
Yeah, good question. I think there is deadlines because otherwise we've got to miss out on specific players as well. So there is deadlines. You know, we'll keep that in house, but you know we want to keep our better players and the players that we've offered deals to. If that takes a little more time, then so be it. Like I said, I know what happens. They've got to be talking to other clubs, and hopefully they choose us over anybody else.
It won't be long till you're back in for pre-season, will it? Really?
Yeah, end of June, start of July. It's frightening, really. You know, all players are on their holidays at the moment, but it looks like 2 or 3 weeks we'll be back at it. Season starts in 6th of August, which is coming around really quickly. And again, next season's got to be full throttle. More games in the season now, and it's got to be a lot more up and at you, ready to go, robustness and. But again, really looking forward to it. As you can see, the grass is coming through now, and it's starting to smell like the season again.
Are you expecting more of a kind of regular season, if you like? So you start off with quite a few Saturday, Tuesday. I
don't know how the league plans it, to be honest. I felt towards the end of the season there was a lot of games for more teams, and at the start of the season there was just a lot of single Saturdays in the month. And I think we can spread it out a little bit more, really, for the welfare of the players as well. You know, there was a lot of injuries last year up and down the country, and we have to look after these players. A final point, of course, you kind of set the benchmark last season, didn't you, really? We all know about the cup run, but you were there or thereabouts. As you say, you were effectively in the playoffs from February, really. So the expectation levels around here, they're always high, but they're probably going to be higher still, really. Yeah, well, with success you get expectation, but if you've got no expectation, that means you're not doing very well, so I'll take that all day. I think this club sets its own standards anyway, where we have been in the last 2 years, and we've got to thrive off that. I've brought good players into the building off the back of a good season, and hopefully we can marry together and have another successful season.